Quartered in snow, silent to remain.
Moment of fight and
When the bugle calls, they shall rise and march again. July 1999 is a date that will remain etched in the memory of every Indian. Because 16 years ago, Indian soldiers, in a saga of unmatched bravery, courage and devotion to duty, pushed back every Pakistani intruder from across the line of control around the Kargil area. We, on this special day, will be paying tribute to our many gallant heroes who laid their lives down in the line of duty. Captain Vijayant Thapar, a fourth-generation army officer, was martyred in an assault on the knoll in the Dras sector. He was subsequently posthumously awarded the Veer Chakra.
By the time you get this letter, I'll be observing you all from the sky, enjoying the hospitality of Apsaras.
Fondly called Robin by his family, Captain Vijayant Thapar was named after a tank, the Vijayam tank.
Well, actually, Robin was born with soldiers, guns and tanks all around him. Therefore, had no other option but to join the army. It was his only choice.
You know, as a child, his toy was a gun. And when he grew up, then of course, his dream was to join the forces. And finally, of course, he joined the army. He was a very sincere, very kind-hearted, loving, affectionate, and above all, he was a true patriot.
Vijayant's battalion, 2 Rajputana Rifles, was given the task of capturing Tololing, a strategic area overlooking the Srinagar and Leh highway.
After Tololing attack, he called up and he said, Mama, do you know we have just achieved the first target? He said, now after this I won't be calling you because I have been assigned another task. No call came after that, only one came call on 29th of June from army headquarters. But I never thought that I will lose my son.
After the victory at Tololing, they were assigned to capture 3 Pimples, a mountain sandwiched between Tololing and Tiger Hill.
Well, it was a moonlit night, a full moon night. It was one of the most treacherous countryside that you can ever be. So Vijayant was the leading platoon commander with Alpha Company going into the assault on Knoll. There was a lot of heated exchange, verbal exchange as well as firing. And at about past midnight sometime, he decided that it's enough is enough. And soon as there was a lull, he got up to pounce on the enemy bunker nearest to him, which was about 15 meters at most. The moment he did that, there was a burst of fire from the enemy, which hit him on the head, and he fell in the arms of his comrade.
Captain Vijayam Topper was awarded the Veer Chakra. More than 2 lakh people attended this hero's funeral.
As a father, I feel his loss. But as an officer and a soldier of the Indian Army with 37 years, I feel that his life has been short but meaningful.
What he wanted, he achieved that, and he made us proud also, and the country of course.
It's been 16 years since Vijayant was martyred, but for his family, time has stood still. and his legacy continues to inspire.
I have no regrets. In fact, even if I become a human again, I will join the army and fight for my nation.
Lieutenant Manoj Pandey of the Gurkha Rifles was a platoon commander in the Batalik sector when, while advancing towards Kalubar, despite being shot, he captured many enemy bunkers before he was martyred.
A proud officer of the 1/11 Gorkha Rifles. Captain Manoj Pandey was commissioned in the army in 1997. The first of his family to join the forces.
मनोज से पूछा गया कि तुम सेना में भर्ती होने के लिए क्यों आए हो, तो मनोज ने दृढ़तापूर्वक कहा था कि परमवीर चक्र पाने के लिए सेना में भर्ती होने के लिए आया हूँ।
He lived and died by his words. Tasked to capture the strategic Jubar top, he led his platoon in those treacherous heights.
जब 4 बंकर नष्ट करके इनके पास में गोलियां खत्म हो गई थी तो ये कहते कि उसमें बंकर में कूद करके हैंड टू हैंड कॉम्बैट भी हुआ है। इन्होंने हाथों से जो इनका जो हथियार होता है कुकरी वो दिया गया था, तो उससे इन्होंने हैंड टू हैंड कॉम्बैट होकर के बहुतों को मारा है। उसके बाद में जो एक बुलेट इनके यहाँ पे आकर के इनके फोरहेड पे लग गई, वो इनके लिए घातक सिद्ध हुई। और जब वो गोली इनके लगी तो ही सेड कि ना छोड़नू, हिज लास्ट वर्ड्स वर ना छोड़नू, जिसका मतलब है कि किसी को छोड़ना नहीं।
Gutsy, gallant, Captain Manoj Pandey inspires a generation.
5 लाख से ऊपर लोग, शायद 5 से 10 लाख के बीच में लोग, जब वहाँ पर उनका क्रिमेशन हुआ, सब लोग साथ चल रहे थे और ये पता नहीं था कौन कहाँ से आया, कौन किसका है। ये संभव नहीं है कि उसको आपको हम उस तरह से बता पाएं जो चीज़ें मैंने उस दिन देखी। इतने फूल लोग दे रहे थे, लखनऊ के सारे फूल खत्म हो चुके थे, जितनी दुकानें थी, जितने मंदिरों के आसपास मिलते थे, सब फूल उठ करके बस उस शव यात्रा में आ गए थे।
Immortalized today in clay and stone, his family proudly remembers their brave son.
मैं तो यही मानती हूँ कि वो कहीं गए नहीं, मेरे अंदर ही हमेशा जीवित रहते हैं। मैं कभी एक क्षण को भूल नहीं पाती, अंदर ही अंदर कुछ भी काम करती, लेकिन मनोज मेरे अंदर हमेशा रहते हैं।
Captain Vikram Batra was called Sher Shah by the Pakistanis because he engaged them in fierce hand-to-hand combat, killing 5 Pakistani soldiers before succumbing to his injuries. His bravery and his famous Dil Mange More quote have immortalized him.
He was a young officer who fought fearlessly and died heroically.
Vikram was a go-getter, a daredevil guy who wanted to do something big in life from day one. And I think he thought that army was the best choice where he could prove his talent and he could prove his mettle.
Commissioned in the year 1997, his battalion, 13 Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, was in charge of recapturing Peak 5140 in the Kargil sector. A peak of prime strategic importance to dislodge the Pakistani army. Vikram led from the front, ensuring no casualties for his troops in a nearly impossible mission.
There was the news being given that Captain Vikram Batra has captured 5140 along with a lot of ammunition, killing so many Pakistani soldiers and all that. And really that was something, my chest was swollen up.
Not content with just this feat, he gave India a new war cry, Ye Dil Mange More. Identical in looks and spirit, his twin brother Vishal remembers the lion-hearted Sher Shah.
sitting at a height of 17,500 feet, fighting the army bullets, the enemy bullets, boulders, everything. Still winning the peak and telling Ye Dil Mange More only connotes one thing, that he still had a hunger.
Recommended for the Mahavir Chakra, he led another mission to capture point 4875. Audacious and fierce, he fought till the very end, inspiring his men, but didn't live to see his victory.
He volunteered to lead his company and capture some of the hilltops which are coming in the way of that objective. And he led from the front, and even though he was wounded very severely, very badly, but he continued to fight.
A young life snuffed away at 24 years, leaving behind a family and a nation that hold their heads high.
Each of the Indian civilians should go down to those peaks, should go down to Kargil and Dras and see what these soldiers do for us. If you're safe today, you're safe because these people ensure that while they are guarding the nation, they're guarding the borders, they go back home safe.
एक माँ बाप के लिए उनका जवान बेटा चला जाए तो बहुत टीस उठती है, बड़ी यादें आती हैं कि आज हमारा बेटा काश जिंदा होता. लेकिन एक तरफ ये बात है और दूसरी तरफ इतना गर्व है, महसूस करते हैं कि देश के लिए उन्होंने जान दी. तो ये हमारा मुकद्दर है, ये अहोभाग्य है कि हमने ऐसा बेटा पाया.
Captain Saurabh Kalia and 5 soldiers of the Jat regiment were on a patrol near the line of control when they were captured by the Pakistanis. They were tortured gruesomely, but they refused to betray their motherland. The capture on 15th May 1999 marked the beginning of the Kargil conflict.
Diaries of a soldier at the front line, battling enemy fire. Lieutenant Saurabh Kalia of the 4 Jat regiment, all of 22 years old, was on his first ever posting in Kargil. For this young officer, it was his life and blood.
Fauj is not a career. Fauj एक जुनून है. People have it in their hearts that make them go in the army.
ऐसा ही लगता है किसी अपने उद्देश्य के लिए आया और अपना वो कार्य खत्म करके, हो सकता है कोई 71 बार का सोल्जर होगा, कोई काम रह गया होगा कारगिल का, उसको पूरा करके अपना चला गया है.
Just 5 days after his last letter dated 10th May 1999 to his parents, he and 5 jawans were captured by the Pakistani army while they were on patrol in the Kaksa region of Kargil.
But he was to arouse the Indian armed forces. But he gave first-hand information about the intrusion there in Kargil and other areas.
Subjected to inhuman torture, the Pakistan army finally returned his body to his anguished family.
एक हंसता खेलता बच्चा भेजा था हमने, और जो उसका एक एक अंग काट करके भेजा, उस चीज का दुख होता है, और कोई चीज का दुख. सौरभ के जाने का कोई दुख नहीं. वो उसके जाने का कोई गम नहीं है. जाना तो है, आर्मी में जाते हैं, गोली खाते भी हैं, गोले मारते भी हैं, उसमें शहीद होना कोई बुरी है. लेकिन जो सौरभ और उसके 5 जवानों के साथ किया, उसका दुख है.
For Saurabh, there were like more than 1 lakh people in Palanpur. They waited for 3 days for his body to come. So that kind of death is a glorified death.
A life cut short at 22. His family left with a room full of memories. The fight for justice for this Kargil hero is still on.
Grenadier Yogendra Yadav and Rifleman Sanjay Kumar are both living legends of the Indian Army. At altitudes where even taking a breath can be a difficult exercise, they defied the odds and even death to accomplish the tasks they were assigned to take up. They were both individually awarded India's highest gallantry award, the Paramveer Chakra.
Forbidding peaks, which became the icy battleground. Each soldier who fought in the conflict was tested and often paid for it in his blood. Others, lucky and spared by fate, lived to tell of their heroics. Grenadier Yogendra Singh Yadav was only 19 at that time. He was part of the 18 Grenadiers who launched the deadly attack to capture 3 strategic bunkers on Tiger Hill on the 4th of July 1999. Even after being riddled with 15 bullets, he refused to give up.
ग्रेनेड से उनके ऊपर हमला किया और उस हमले में उनके 2-3 जवान मारे गए। उनकी राइफल्स को उठाया और उनके ऊपर ज़बरदस्त फायरिंग किया, जिससे उनको ये लगा कि हिंदुस्तान की रीइंफोर्समेंट ऊपर आ गई है और वहाँ से वो भाग खड़े हुए। आगे गया, आगे जाने के बाद उनका टाइगर हिल टॉप के ऊपर डिप्लॉयमेंट को देखा। वहाँ की पूरी इन्फॉर्मेशन लेने के बाद अपने आप को संभालते हुए फिर नीचे की तरफ में लुढ़का और नीचे आया, अपने जवानों को बताया कि आपके ऊपर अभी दोबारा से हमला आने वाला है। उस पूरी इन्फॉर्मेशन के आधार के ऊपर दोबारा से हमला किया गया और बिना कुछ कैजुअल्टी के बाद इस टाइगर हिल टॉप के ऊपर 18 ग्रेनेडियर ने विजय पताका फहरा दिया।
He was wounded very seriously, but kept on fighting. And subsequently, when I learned that he was the one who was leading people on the rope to climb that, we all decided that he deserves the Paramveer Chakra.
Another recipient of the Paramveer Chakra was Rifleman Sanjay Kumar. As a member of the 13th Battalion, Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, he was the leading scout of a team tasked to capture area flat top of .4875.
लेकिन दुश्मन ने अचानक दूसरी बाईं साइड से फायर खोला, जिसमें कि मेरे 2 साथी जो थे वहीं पे शहीद हो गए। उसके बाद हम लोग जो 4 जवान बाकी बचे थे, हम 6 जवान आगे नेक्स्ट पोस्ट पे गए थे, तो 4 के 4 जवान भी वहीं पे हम सब जख्मी हो गए। मेरे भी टांग में और मेरे पीछे गोली लगी थी। मेरे जो दूसरे साथी थे उसके कंधे में, नेक्स्ट वाले थे किसी के बाजू में और टांग में। हम लोग 4 के 4 जख्मी हो गए थे। हमने काफ़ी देर तक वहाँ पे लेटे रहे। दुश्मन का फायर इतना भारी था कि हम लोग वहाँ से एडवांस नहीं कर सकते थे। काफ़ी देर के बाद जब दुश्मन ने हमें मरा हुआ समझकर अपनी पोजीशन छोड़ी, तब हमें उसकी हरकत का मालूम चला। तब हमने फिर फायर खोला और उस दुश्मन को मार गिराया। जैसे ही उसको मारा, बंकर ऑटोमेटिक खाली हो गया, क्योंकि दुश्मन घबरा गया कि जो इंडियन आर्मी यहाँ से आई थी वो तो यहाँ पे मारे गए थे, लेकिन इन्होंने दूसरी साइड से हमारे ऊपर अटैक कर दिया और वो घबरा के भाग गए।
Men, superheroes, soldiers who live and die for the country. India salutes these bravehearts.
Doctors in the war zone have to fight battles of a different kind. Major Arup Basu was posted as a surgeon at the Kargil Field Hospital, where he worked night and day to save the precious lives of our soldiers.
524 Indian soldiers dead and 13,363 wounded. Field Hospital in the Kargil sector, 1. Surgeon, 1.
If you tell me to define Kargil as a surgeon, from my point of view, then I will say that I was inducted into the field of surgery literally by fire, because it was firepower all the way.
For thousands of wounded soldiers, Major Arup Basu was a savior. The lone surgeon deployed in the Kargil Field Hospital, he treated more than 350 soldiers and performed 220 surgeries.
The casualties used to come after dark. Then immediately on arrival, we used to sort them out. There's something called as triage. We used to account them priorities. Our routine used to be, we used to have an early dinner and settle down for surgery by about 8:30, carry on throughout the night, and then in the morning maybe stabilize them, and by afternoon the casualties used to be either flown off or taken by road to Leh. Because if we do not do that, the next day more casualties will come and the beds will overflow.
With shells erupting all around, this surgeon had to display nerves of steel.
We were operating on one patient who was hit by a splinter when he was driving a jeep. Now the night of that surgery, we were hit by Pakistani shells, and the shells had landed just about 50 meters behind our hospital. So it was a very terrifying experience, that is all I can say. So they narrowly missed our hospital.
In the end, it was the undying spirit of Indian soldiers that kept him going on and on.
I used to definitely ask them that your wounds have been repaired and you are on the path to recovery. What would you like to do? So the mantra used to come from the soldier, and they used to say that we would like to go back to battle.
When you go home, tell them of us and say, for their tomorrow we gave our today.